Anybody need their nails done?
Well, come on up.
He said, well, come on up here then.
When you've been in this space for a while, many of the things that you hear become second nature. You remember the scene where Cypher looks at the steak and says he wants to be plugged back into the Matrix. Many of us understand that there's a reason why there are so many Matrix references to this space, that once you wake up and see things a certain way, you can't really unsee them.
Ignorance is bliss.
Of course, the interpretation for this space in terms of using this scene is that the ignorance of thinking that a woman's going to love you for who you are is enough to sustain a relationship. And when you believe that with your whole core, it is a kind of bliss.
Because I wanted you to love me for who I am.
Regardless of your opinions about this space or your affiliation to it, there's one universal truth that goes unchallenged and reigns supreme.
Conscience due cost.
According to data released in November of 2023 from the U.S. Census Bureau, 4.1 million parents received cash support in the form of cash payments. 2.7 million parents received in-kind support that includes groceries, clothes, diapers, etc., and that $20.2 billion in cash child support payments were received by parents in 2021, with an average of over $440. We've even had a chance to hear the newly elected mayor of New York City weigh in on the male loneliness epidemic. It's absolutely not women's responsibility to resolve the men's loneliness epidemic crisis, essentially saying that the weight is going to fall on men for dating. That is the way that it is. And that said, it leads us to ask very simple questions.
This is why you brothers are struggling. You struggling because you can't beat the government, partner. You can't be better than the government. They get $400 food stamps for not working. You coming in with $200 a week. How you gonna compare? They can lay on their butt and get free health care. If you can't even pay a clinic bill. So they making you feel less than, as if they have worked for this stuff when they have gotten it from a system that wants you to be separated.
Lucky enough for me, and I very much appreciate it, I've never been in a position where as a kid I had federal assistance as a part of my upbringing. I'm sure that that's the case for some people, but it does have an effect on the dating market. When a young lady knows that she can have a child and there is some federal assistance guaranteed, that means that any guy in the dating market has to do at least what the government can do. And if the government can do health care, a place to stay, free food, child care, assistance to college, etc., then any guy that can't do that is automatically dusty. And that's the point being made here. And it goes simply to the point many passport bros are speaking about. If you're in a system where you're competing against that, which doesn't exist in other countries, then it only makes sense to go somewhere else because the price is going to get inflated.
So they making you feel less than, as if they have worked for this stuff when they have gotten it from a system that wants you to be separated. They only giving it to her to keep you out the picture because they ain't scared of her. They empowering her, they just empowering her so you and her can't get together so you can rise. Because you can't rise without your woman. They figured that out a long time ago. And you sisters got a nerve to walk with outstretched necks like y'all done something. All you got to do to get something is have a baby. That's it. Go somewhere, lay in some dirty couch or some old car and get a seed, and the door of life is open for you. All the empowerment in the world, every program to get you on your feet. And you ain't realize why. You got a nerve to look back at these men that have been in your life and you call them nothing, but you ain't realizing that you was trained to look at them that way because you wouldn't even have nothing if it wasn't for the seed he gave you. You was broke before you got a baby. Busted with nothing before you had a child. The child provided for you that man's seed. And you got a nerve to say that no good Negro won't take care of his kids. His kids are taking care of you.
And you got a nerve to say that no good Negro won't take care of his kids. His kids are taking care of you.
武士道とは死ぬことと見つけたり、修羅道とは倒すことと見つけたり、我悪鬼羅刹となり、目の前の敵すべてを切る。
If you ask Gen Xers or millennials about your core memories from your youth, it's going to be hard for them to tell you of a memory that's better than having a pocket full of quarters at your local arcade on a Friday night. Of course, there were certain games like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that were notorious for swallowing quarters, that you could go through a couple of dollars in quarters before you even realized it, and you just moved a couple levels up in the game. Of course, for me, I wasn't really into the fighting games because Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat seemed so complex, but I've seen guys spend quarters after quarters after quarters, run to the change machine, get more quarters, and run back to save their spot so that they could test these combos that they're getting from these magazines. But for me, the first time that I really got into a game that was just sucking quarters out of my pocket was when I met Samurai Showdown. I cannot tell you how many quarters I spent in this game, but it was such a cool experience for me personally, and I didn't really mind because, first of all, I was studying Japanese at the time, so I'd hear words that now I could easily understand, and I'd rush to my Japanese dictionary, look them up, and write them in my notebook. But also because the game was so stinking cool. But it was a reminder to me that if you want to beat this game, you're going to have to pay in order to play and take the lumps in order to win, which I eventually won with only one character, Howmatter. All of that said, there were other games in the arcade that were so much more daunting and, quite frankly put, much more representative of the modern dating game. And I guess you can kind of understand why fewer and fewer guys really want to play when the games look like...
And scorn, you could say, and now she wants payback. She wants money after she says her now ex wasted her childbearing years. I've been in a relationship for just over 10 years with a guy I had hoped to marry. He called it off a few months ago. Here I am at 34, eggs twitching, ready for the marriage and parenthood stage of life, but unexpectedly single and emotionally devastated. The woman says she feels as though he owes her big time.
If you marry for money, you'll earn every penny.
Women should date and marry for money, because the opposite of that is dating and marrying for poverty.
I don't like when I start talking to a man and his birthday coming up. Like, if your birthday coming up like within the next 6 months, that's too fast that I can circle back when my birthday is like 2-3 months away.
How do you handle being in a relationship with a provider and a protector, but not emotionally available?
But you don't.
I texted my man talking about something. I'm hungry, and you know what he responded with? That's crazy. What you finna get? A new man.
He said that he's supposed to be spending money on a woman as soon as he look in her direction. Anybody in here that's single that need their nails done?
Well, come on up.
He said, well, come on up here then.
That's what you doing?
That's what y'all doing?
I know you lying. I know you lying.
Just handing out money.
We ain't
Look
shop.
at y'all.
Take a picture of them. I want to see them nails Monday morning.
This what y'all doing?
I know you lying.
I know this. Y'all sure that's not prop money?
I know you lying.
Get them nails done, sis.
Recently, I ran into a young lady who was giving me very strong choosing signals, something I've, of course, learned from this space. And my first thought was not necessarily the thought that I would have had before I encountered this space, which is, yippee, she likes me. I can't wait to ask her out on a date. Actually, I've had an opportunity to ask her out on a date, but it's my spirit animal that's talking to me and saying,
Man, don't no want no old washed up man. What don't want a young man? Huh? You don't like it, eat my dick, man. Straight up. Yeah, man. The f what? Want something that been, you heard me? Don't nobody go, man, have emotion. We ain't going to the used car line, man. What the f? But see, that don't be nothing but that washed up shit on that, like, man, hey, Yeah, damn near, yeah. Nigga old enough to be your daddy, yeah. Of course. Yeah, nigga want some, yeah. The f got more sense than, hey, got sense enough to know how to listen.
I'm not saying that I agree with the way that he presents his message, but he comes from a very different place than I do. But he is simply stating what many young ladies are saying, in that they want men with money. He's saying, well, I want a young lady that's youthful, exuberant, has that girly nature to her. He uses a very interesting way to do it, but all things considered, what we all understand is that he can't date that way if he doesn't have the social standing that he does. And so you get the social standing, but you know you have to pay if you want the kind of young lady that you're interested in. And so the simple question becomes, how many quarters are you going to put in your game? How often are you going to insert extra coins and be willing to do it? Because either you choose not to put in coins and you can't play, or you try and find the game that has the best deal for you to play and you play there. And so as for me and the young lady, we'll see where that goes. But I noticed very quickly that my calculus had completely changed. Instead of thinking, I wish I could find a way to get her to like me, which I would have thought some years ago, my first thought was, how much emotional labor, how much time, and how much energy is she going to cost, along with the monetary cost? And simply put, what do I want from her? Of course, being around a youthful, giggly young lady is exciting. But now, thanks to this space, many guys like myself are starting to think about the opportunity cost. How much time, how much emotional labor, how much energy, and of course, how much money is she going to cost for her to be in your life? And what is she going to add to your life? Many young ladies these days think that just being there is enough to get paid. And when she leaves, she wants to take something with her. Maybe she has the right to feel that way. Whatever it is, one way or another, you're going to have to pay something. And so the real game is, how many quarters do you have, and which game do you want to put your quarters in, if you feel like playing at all? Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. I'll catch you next video. Take care.